There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
Tonight, we've invited 5 of the most prominent brands in lighting systems to educate us on the latest offerings within the segment. From the latest LED trends to the newest off-road fixtures, replacement bulbs, and beyond, these are the brands that continue to innovate to provide the maximum light output possible. This is CMA Live, presented by SiriusXM, the lighting systems episode, and it starts now. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for tuning in for another CMA Live presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and on the menu this evening is, of course, lighting systems. We've been talking about it all week long, and of course, we've gathered 5 of the brightest to join us this evening to have a great discussion about what's going on within the lighting category and all the evolution and new products that dealers have access to this lighting season. To kick off the evening, we've got a staple within the lighting business from a parent company that we're all very, very familiar with. Of course, we're talking about Metra's brand called Heiss LED. And this evening, we've got their product manager joining us. His name is John Osborne.
Hi, good evening, Ben.
Good evening, John. Thanks for joining us on the CMA Live and for kicking off the show this evening.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So, I mean, lots of new products all across the board. I've had the opportunity to speak with you and the team at Metra on several occasions throughout different categories. Of course, tonight we're specifically talking about lighting, and it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, it seems like we're finally catching up to some of the delay that's kind of plagued us in the last, couple months, years, and we're starting to see that new product finally come to market.
Yeah, the last couple of years have been a little rough trying to deal with all the shipping lanes and all the logistics and slowdowns with everything that was going on. But that didn't stop us from working on, the line and keep driving forward. So we kept developing, and now you're going to start seeing all this new cool equipment come to market. It's going to be available. Some of it is already available. We got a lot coming for you, so it's definitely exciting times.
That must feel good being a product manager, to finally see your babies come out and be able to share and show the world everything you've been working on.
Oh, exactly. I mean, touching and feeling the stuff and, testing it, designing it, redesigning it, and finally, you see it on that shelf. It's a good feeling.
It absolutely is. Now, we've got a show coming up. It's going to go down on Monday where we're going to dive deep on all these new products that we'll be kind of touching on today. But I have to choose a couple here that I want to, whet people's appetite about. The first one that really caught my eye that we definitely dive into is these new chasing LED products that are within the Heiss lineup. Why don't you tell us about this new category within LED?
Yeah, so chasing LED is definitely the pinnacle of what's available at this time. We've gone through with RGB and then expanded to RGBW, so we got that true white going on with the products. And this is that next step. We brought in addressable LEDs, so the controller can tell each LED what you want it to do in sequence. So this is where you're getting into those moving patterns that you can't produce with standard RGB or RGBW lights. And then we're going to make these available in all of those popular items. You're going to see the underglow kits. You're going to see the wheel light kits. You're going to see rock lights. There's a lot going on there. And if nothing else, I mean, we got this Abbott Costello thing going on in the show, so it's at least entertaining, if nothing else.
I mean, I think what you've done is you've created an opportunity for those that really like to tweak their systems and their presentations to really geek out and
Yeah.
absolutely go as deep as they want to go. And I think something that is important to point out here, we're not talking about the same software or app that many of you dealers out there have already had experience with controlling, like the regular RGB systems. This is a whole new application, isn't it?
Yeah, so with the new LEDs, we have a new controller that is specific for the chasing product that we've brought to market, and it has a new app to go with it. So it allows you to do all your standard single colors, your typical breathing, fading patterns that you're used to. But then it's going to get into where you can do the moving patterns. You can set your own sequence for the lights and how they transition. And then you can even get down into the nitty gritty, like you were talking about, and set the actual pixel count, is what we call it, of the product. So if trim it down or you add additional lights to it, um, your your sequence becomes longer or shorter, and we can adjust in the app the sequence length so that the pattern runs from the start to the end and then starts over versus having some big delay.
Right, and that's regardless of the path or the shape of said lighting, correct?
Exactly.
Hmm. That really changes things. I mean, it's hard to explain here on this discussion, so I encourage you, watch the show.
Yes.
They do a full demo. They actually program through the application to show you exactly how that's done, and it's quite remarkable. Now, you had mentioned a couple items. You said under vehicle lighting, right? That was
Yep.
kind of the obvious one. Rock lights we've been doing for a while, but now that's part of that chasing LED family. But you did mention one that I thought was quite unique, and we definitely get into it a little bit more on this session, and that is wheel lights. So try to imagine a dressable LED chasing RGB, no, not RGB. It's no longer RGB. It's chasing
chasing.
LED wheel lights. Let's hear about these.
These are really cool. I mean, yeah, it's always neat to backlight the wheels, and you can do that with rock lights and anything else. But when you can take the pattern and run it counterclockwise to the way that the wheel's spinning, it just gives you this effect like no other. It's like spinners to the 10th degree, they're made solid. Um, we always torture test all of our equipment, and this is no exception. We have a vehicle that we put these on, took it out, took it to Jeep Beach, jumped it, took it out through the trails. We actually accidentally sank this vehicle, pulled it out. Everything on the kit still works. I mean, we got IP68 rated strips, we got aluminum brackets, stainless steel hardware. We really put this through the ringer, and very very comfortable giving this 2 thumbs up, seal of approval, that this is a safe, solid product that's really going to turn some heads.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm always honest. I was a little skeptical when I first saw the item just on an email say, "Yep, we're gonna be talking about chasing LED wheel lights." I'm like, "Really? Wheel lights?" Watch the show, guys. They tear
Yeah.
it apart. They show you exactly how the brackets are made, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the construction, the thought that went behind this particular product. So, chasing wheel lights, that's a thing for 2022 lighting season. All right, last but not least, would be remiss if we didn't give you an opportunity to talk about the whole new lineup of off-road lights, including light bars and spot cube lights and so on and so forth. What can dealers expect as an evolution in this category?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's an evolution. We've taken the time during that pause to really have a look at the line and see what we could step up, really really look at the technology that was now available and do a refresh on our core lineup. So your cube lights, your light bars, they're getting a new design. No more whistling fins. We're moved from direct lighting to indirect lighting on these. So we're controlling almost all the light that's coming off the LED, giving you a better pattern with no hot spots. We redid the work lights, the flush mount driving lights, the larger 7 and 9 inch. I mean, it's a full. They're sexy. They're the design is just out of this world.
They are definitely very appealing to the eye. They're sleeker. They're less clunky. They're more seamless, I guess, if you will.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, absolutely. Tune in, guys, and check out that entire lineup. Not just light bars, cube lights as well, spotlights, the whole nine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's
Uh,
it's definitely worth checking out.
there's a ton. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, the show goes a little bit long, but we had to because there's a lot to fit in. So that's fine. That's totally
Yeah,
cool.
we were kind of geeking out a little bit.
And that's all. That's what we're about here at CMA. We love to geek out and give the dealers an idea of what it's all about inside out. So on that note, if you're interested in finding out more information about Heist LED, there is their official website, heiseled.com. And John, all those items that we discussed, I believe, are already on the website, correct?
Yes, sir. Those are ready and available.
Beauty. And if you happen to be a Canadian dealer tuning in, you want to get a hold of Importel, there's one of their distributors out there, and they can certainly give you a hand for all your heist lighting needs. John, can't thank you enough for taking the time with us this evening, and we certainly look forward to the show on Monday.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having us. Look forward to
Take care.
talking soon. Bye.
All right, so that was Heist LED from Metro, of course. And we've got 4 great brands, all with different flavors, different style. And this next one is a complete brand when it comes to lighting. And when I say that, I mean a deep, deep catalog that's very committed to lighting. And it's going to be very interesting what they're going to present this evening. But I can tell you, they got a lot of new stuff on the go that they're pretty darn proud of. So I'm excited to get him on the line. We are blessed to have the president himself joining us this evening of Race Sport Lighting, Mr. Steve Jurgensen.
Hey, good evening, Ben. How's it going?
It's going great, Steve. We're talking lighting, and I can't be in better company, I might say.
Absolutely. Well, I know JR Stocks, our new VP, wanted to be on and do this one, but he's on the road doing some good things right now. So I filled in, and
I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love having JR on, of course, but I'm not going to pass up on the chance to have the president on as well. So we're happy that you're joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
Man, where do we begin? Lots of new stuff. We just, Race Sport Lighting dropped a whole bunch of new stuff on the showcase that we did. So we're going to break it out for you, give you a little teaser of what you missed if you didn't see it yet. Let's start with what I was very excited about. I continue to be excited about, and that is this new technology, patented, exclusive from Race Sport Lighting, solar-powered cab lights. Tell us all about it.
Absolutely. Actually, a lot of the products that we went through in our hour segment yesterday are all patented, made in USA, niche type products that are very exclusive to Race Sport Lighting. As far as the details of the product, the technical specs that we go through, you have to watch the hour segment. Obviously, we don't have time tonight. So I'm going to talk more in terms of what the problems were on the market and what the solution was that we patented the product. So when it comes to cab clearance lights, we had a lot of demand from dealers to bring those into our lighting lineup, and they were buying wired versions from several other companies, and they weren't really happy with any of it. And so the problem that we understood in the marketplace and with the resellers is that either A, they didn't want to get into the business because they've been into it before, and drilling 5 holes into someone's $80,000 truck created quite a bit of liability and problems, and most dealers won't touch it with a 10-foot pole, so to speak. But the other side of the coin was dealers that do wired cab lights. They still carry that liability that there's possible leakage if not installed correctly. And if a customer comes and is upset, you can't just take off 5 cab lights, give them their money back, and wish them a good day. You got 5 holes in the truck. And so The solution that we patented and came up with and make right here in the United States in ISO 9000 factory is wireless, holeless, drillless solar cab lights. These are pretty phenomenal. They actually stay charged from the sun. They run off vibration sensors and shut on and off and on as the truck or vehicle turns off and on. So it's a pretty amazing product and very exclusive and made by us in the USA.
Man, I am very, very excited to talk about that product. Probably one of the most innovative things I've seen in the lighting category of late. Definitely check that out, guys. Cab Light could be a business you didn't even know you had until this product came about, which I feel has a lot of potential. You're missing some opportunity if you're not aware of this product. Moving on to another huge category, obviously, for race sport lighting, and that is obviously LED bulbs. I mean, yes, LED bulbs. It's a daily sale, right? If people come in, they want that LED look, they want that LED technology. Race Sport Lighting is interesting, has a couple unique patents when it comes to their bulbs, and it's called Gen 4. And I want, Steve, if you could please share with us a little bit about these patents that you're obviously very proud of.
Absolutely. I'm going to do a little show and tell on the product, but I will talk about, there's actually 4 patents on this product. Again, I want to talk a little bit more about solution-based since we don't have time to spend 10 minutes on the technical specs. They can watch the 1 hour live on that. But this has no fitment issues. It has perfect projection. It is installer friendly. It has perfect aiming and no on-the-road glare towards oncoming drivers. There's 4 patented pieces, particularly on this product that we custom make. One is the anti-glare focus cups. One is how we actually align the Zest chip diodes on the tower body to work with those anti-glare to keep the light focused on the road and out of oncoming drivers. The third is actually the socket ratchetable aiming adjust that makes it very easy for dealers to not have to pull bulbs in and out and make adjustments for perfect aim. It works very similar to a socket wrench. And so that's a very nice feature that's very popular. And then, of course, the Medusa heat sinks that you see that look a little funny at first. Those are actually the heat sinks, and those can flex.
If you don't mind, could you just hold that up? We're going to zoom in on this. I want people to see how unique that looks right there.
So these can. And so if this goes into a lens and there's fitment issues, you can flex that even forward around the lens. So those new vehicles that have a very tight seal cap, they can sit up right behind that. And so it dissipates heat very nicely. And so it fits in everything.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful solution for the dealer, for the reseller, for the consumer, all around.
And that, just to be clear, is called the Gen 4 headlight replacement bulbs, LED, of course. Now, another product, Steve, that I kind of got my crank turned on is this new 8-gang, I'm going to say the word, wireless lighting control system. Do tell.
Absolutely. Long range wireless,
yes,
if you
apparently.
remember yesterday from the show. So again, specs, go to the live. Solution. We're a preferred lender of several, or preferred lighting vendor of several buying groups. One of those buying groups came to us and they actually had a control company. That's all they did was controls. And they did our wired 6-gang and 8-gang controls as well within the group, but they had some quality issues and some supply issues over the last few years. They got rid of that supplier. They came to us and said, we like your wired version, but we really would like to see a wireless version that really has some phenomenal features on it. And so we came out with a 8-gang 80 amp wireless control system where the control, I wish I would have had a show and tell tonight, that would have been fun, but it's a pretty nice looking.
Just to clarify, when we say wireless, the control buttons to control the lights are wireless from the actual switching box, which is opens up a ton of different potential and an opportunity from an installation perspective.
Yeah, and one of the big problems in the market that they were describing to us when they said, hey, can you design something like this, was some of these vehicles are getting very difficult to go through the firewall to wire to the controller. It'd be very helpful on the installer and the user who would like to take the remote control outside of the vehicle if it were wireless and long range. And so this thing has a receiver transmitter and can go up over 1,000 feet from the vehicle and still control all the lights perfectly. The other issue is that a lot of the power control systems on the market are usually 50, 60 amps. And when you get into like a big work truck that's using some higher amperage light bars and things like that, they end up clipping and blowing the breaker because it's just too much. There's too much current draw, obviously, on the power control center. We amp this up to 80 amps, and you can run like multiple 50-inch light bars along with strobes and other products that you would need on a work vehicle or a fleet vehicle, and run it nice and seamlessly.
Nice. So wireless 8-gang, definitely check that out, guys. And it looks pretty slick. Comes with different decals. You can change the configuration of your buttons and identify which one does what and all that stuff. Now, this is something that happened last year, and we started hearing feedback. Unfortunately, it was a little bit negative feedback in the LED replacement bulb market when it came to projectors, right? Projector housing is a little bit different. It's not like your regular reflective housing. And there wasn't a lot of solutions, or there were, but they didn't really work, which kind of gave LED lighting a little bit of a bad rap, right? And then you guys come up with something specific to replace within projector housing called the P series. What is the story behind that?
Absolutely. So again, we're going to talk about problems and solutions. So we've always had a solution for the projector lenses, which is our professional grade high performance Gen 6 HID conversion kit, which a lot of dealers have known and trusted with a lifetime warranty for many years. And it is the perfect solution. Projectors were made for HIDs 15, 20 years ago. They thrive together. The problem is, as LEDs have kind of caught their wave and got popular, resellers have been trying to shove LEDs into the projector, and the problems they've been experiencing are actually lack of performance, spray lines, shadowing, lots of different problems where they're actually under-servicing the consumer. They're charging them, hundreds of dollars to upgrade their headlights, and they might be better off with halogen. So our Gen 6 has always been the solution. The problem that we ran into, even though we had a solution, is sometimes you get resellers or even a consumer that tells the reseller, I only want LED. And so they'd be insistent on shoving LEDs.
That's the LED bandwagon phenomenon.
Very clear last year that we had to design an LED kit that's specifically designed for projector models and bases. And so the P series came about. It's a full all-in-one solution where it actually has a 360 quartz lens at the end that actually looks like the tip of an HID bulb. So it gives you that perfect array, no shadowing, no spray lines, perfect projection, and has an extremely high lux output that can actually give you just as much illumination down the road as our Gen 6 HID kit, but with an LED kit. And CAN bus enabled, everything.
So strongly suggest, if you have a customer coming in, you go outside, it's projector housing, it's original xenon, 2 options: replace with xenon kit, or if they insist on the LED route, well, Raceport Lighting has a solution with their P series bulbs.
Absolutely.
Nice and clean, nice and simple. My last question for you this evening, we're going to switch gears to something that many of us up north don't really want to admit yet, but we have to start talking about a little bit. Heated work lights. Why do we? Well, I think anybody that lives up here knows why we need heated work lights, and you have a solution for that as well.
Absolutely. And actually, this isn't brand new. We did talk about this a little bit last year. The line has developed a little bit. We have a tremendous amount of business growing in Canada, and we have a tremendous amount that we've had for a dozen years in Alaska. And so one of the big things that has been experienced with light bars, auxiliary lights, cube lights is, hey, when it gets really bad, these things get iced up, and actually they diffuse and actually diminish the light output needed for these work and fleet vehicles and snow plows. And so our Roadrunner series was the solution that we came out with last year, and it's continued to develop, where we actually heat the lens. And it actually stays at a temperature that actually will take the ice off and be able to keep full power light going down the road. And the other thing with the Roadrunner is we also put aimed opticals on it to keep the light straight and to the right. and away from oncoming traffic. So it doesn't have a flood type pattern that some combination light bars or floodlight bars can have. And it's not too narrow like some spotlight bars. So it has a multiple diffused optical system that keeps the light specifically where you need it. On top of that, having the heated lens. And so we got some nice light bar options in there and some auxiliary lights that are very heavy duty.
If there's anything I've learned from our conversations, our presentations together, Steve, is the mindfulness that Race Sport Lighting puts into their product. Again, solutions, problem solutions, and definitely keep it coming, because it's exactly what we need.
Well, we found the key to business is just listen to the
There
reseller.
you go.
They know what they're talking about. They know what they're running into out there.
If you're looking for more information on Race Sport products, check out the website, racesportinc.com. There's also, for you Canadian dealers out there, an actual website just for Canadian deals in Canadian funds, B2B only. I should mention that Race Sport Lighting doesn't sell to consumer. These are B2B websites only. And if you're in Canada, well, they have a distributor you can connect with, Trends Electronics. You can find them at trendsinc.com. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Everyone have a good night.
Good night. All right, let's move forward to brand number 3 this evening. This one's a little bit near and dear to my heart. It's there's a big story behind it. It's from Montreal. It's local. It's Canadian. And these guys are just hip and happening. They know what's going on. They're out there playing with toys and creating products that enhance our playtime, which is exactly what it's all about. Of course, I'm talking about ODX Lighting, and tonight we have with us their marketing director, a good old friend of mine, Mr. Kevin Darwish.
How's it going, Ben?
Kevin, good to see you, buddy. I'm really happy you're on with us this evening. How's everything been?
Great. A little disappointed the summer's coming to an end, unfortunately, but had some good time to play with a bunch of toys, like you say.
Exactly. We find ways to keep us occupied and smiling, right?
Oh, yes, exactly.
I know we're going to talk about toys in a bit, but I know also there's been a little bit of a restructuring per se when it comes to the ODX distribution in Canada recently. I know this was important that we message this to make sure dealers are all up to date with what's going on. Can you help us understand the new layout of the ODX landscape?
Yeah, well, first of all, we've always had automobility, so automobility for all the lineups of ODX, but we also have now Dick's Performance, who is nationwide. I know they're very strong in Western Canada, but they are nationwide just as automobility is. So those are the 2 dealers you can hit up. For the power sports, we have 3 distributors. So we have Kimpex, Motovan, and Gamma. So all your power sports needs you could get through those 3 distributors nationwide. And we actually also have a US distributor, which is R&D distributing in all across the US. Beautiful. So we're pretty present all across North America.
I like how you have that. You have to distinguish between the regular, like kind of 12-volt guys and the power sport guys, because you guys are quite heavy into power sports / motorsports. It's just part of your culture. That's how ODX was born, and I would expect nothing less. Now, along with this recent, restructuring of distribution, also there's some new team players, new players on the board. Why don't you tell us about the new role and who he is and why is he important?
Yeah, we have Marc-André Bouchard that is on the team officially. He is our national sales director, and his roles are going to be, he's going to be like a brand representative. So he's going to be really representing ODX across North America. He's going to be helping a lot with all the reps throughout all the distributors. So any of the reps that, they have any questions, they need any help, he's going to be there. He's been in Western Canada and he goes all across. He actually just did 2 presentations for automobility. So he was in Quebec City and in Montreal giving a presentation. And he actually has a lot of ODX experience because he's been previously a rep for another distributor that was selling ODX. And he was ODX, I got to say, he knows the brand inside and out. And it's been,
can I be honest? Can I be honest? When you told me that, I was not surprised whatsoever. It was almost expected. So congratulations, Mark, for your new position within ODX. And I think that's only good news for dealers as well as for the reps out there. Great guy, knowledgeable, very enthusiastic and infectious when it comes to his personality and the positivity he brings.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be seeing a lot more of him, like maybe in one of the next CMA videos. He'll be there in trade shows. He's going to be there. So he's going to be somebody to answer your questions.
Awesome. All right, let's get into some product. We're talking about power sports, motor sports. Snow is coming. Snow, keyword. Let's talk about the Snowy series that was recently introduced, specifically targeting power sports enthusiasts.
Yeah. So the Snowy is our second generation of the. It used to be called the B2. The B2 was strictly for snowmobiles, and the second generation is the Snowy series. So it is a snowmobile specific bulb, and it is a 2-color bulb. So reason being, an LED is a very reflective light source. So if you get stuck in like a snowstorm, or you're following a snowmobiler and he's throwing up a lot of snow dust.
Hope that never happens.
Yeah, exactly. a white LED is very reflective, so it actually lights up the snow in front of you, creating like a blinding wall. So we came up with the SBT technology, which is the snow breakthrough technology. So on the low beam, it's a 3000 K color temperature. Usually on LEDs, on vehicles, any power sports or vehicle application, you'll have roughly between 6,000 and 6,500 K Kelvin temperature, which is that pure white, bright white light. Whereas the 3000 K will resemble more of a halogen light. So that light will be piercing through. If you have any fog or snow or anything that's like resembles white, that a white LED will light up, well, the SVT technology will really pierce through it, enabling you to see in these inferior situations. So the way it works is there's no custom wiring, it's plug and play. On your low beams, you'll have the 3000 K light. And when you want to toggle to the 6500 Kelvin light, you just turn on your high beams and it'll switch to the white light. So you get the best of both worlds. And it's really...
So wait, no additional switching or wiring required, all from factory, just low beam, high beam switch.
Exactly. So it's at the flick of a switch. All snowmobiles have low beams and high beams. The Snowy comes, the previous series used to come individually, but we figured for the Snowy, the second gen, they come in pairs because 99.9% of snowmobiles have 2 bulbs. So one package, it's an awesome packaging, and it comes in H4 and H13, which is about 90% of all snowmobiles on the market. So
not gonna lie, I see them a lot on the trails. I mean, they're pretty popular. I think up here everybody knows about them. And so congratulations. I know that's a series that has done really well for you guys, for sure.
I do a lot of snowmobiling myself. I have them on my sled, and I got to say, last winter I saw lots of people. I crossed lots of people. As soon as I would see like the 3000 K light, I'm like, ODX. They're like, oh yes, I just bought it. I love it. So it's so fun when you get to like engage with snowmobilers, and then they're so happy with their product. It really makes makes us proud.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. Now, continuing on product, there is rumors that there may be a new series being introduced soon. How much can you tell us at this point in time?
All I can tell you is on Friday we're having a session together, a little more intimate session that we could have a little bit more time, and we're going to postpone it till Friday, and we're going to launch this new series. The only thing I can say is it's a new automotive series.
Wow, it's been a minute since something new, so I'm very curious what else you could have done to change it up and make it interesting. So, respect. I'm not going to bug you anymore for this one this evening, but make sure you guys tune in on Friday. Kevin and I, we're going one-on-one, and I'm going to milk him for everything he's got. I can guarantee you that. All right. So, lastly, some more important news that we definitely want to get out there. There's also been a slight modification to the way warranty is being handled. Maybe you can shed some light on that as well.
Yeah, 100%. So just in case anybody doesn't know, all ODX products have a lifetime warranty as long as you own your vehicle that you purchased the ODX product for. Previously, the warranty used to be done through the dealers. So wherever you purchase your product, you go back, you do an exchange. It was working, there was no problem, but sometimes it would create delays. And having a burnt bulb on your vehicle, it's not the funnest thing. You want to get it back up and running. Yeah. So we decided to take care of all the warranties ourselves. So it's a super easy process. You just go onto our website. If you go on our website, at the top, you'll have customer service and warranty. You go there. Whether you're a dealer or a end user, there's the two options. You click, super easy, fill out the form. We ask you to take a picture of your product prior, and then we give you the fun to destroy your product whatever you want. There's actually a video with a little fun examples of ways to destroy your product. I don't recommend the one with fire, but
there's warnings on the video. I watched it.
Yeah, there is. So you just destroy your product, take a picture of the destroyed product, and we ship you out a replacement product. And if, let's say, it's a series that's discontinued, we'll just ship you a up-to-date kit that's equal or higher than what you had. We'll ship you a whole new kit.
Basically taking back the warranty to factory.
Yeah, to factory makes things easier. Clients get their products way faster, less downtime, and I think it's going to make dealers and end users much more happy for the turnaround time. Already that they have the lifetime warranty with ODX, it's just going to make the process much quicker.
Tune in on Friday, guys. We're going to find out what this new product is from ODS. We're going to take a look at all that snowy stuff and maybe give a run through of all the tools online too. I think that's going to be something important that we do.
Yeah. Friday, we're really going to talk about, we have a lot of series. We have like application specific series. So we're going to teach you how to choose, depending on what your application, what your needs are. We're going to show you how to use our website to know what to choose for your vehicle. If you're putting mini bulbs and you need resistors, we'll show you how easy it is to just choose your resistors and install them. So it's really a show not to miss.
For more information on ODX products, one website, super simple, odx.ca. And guess what? If you're a dealer, regardless of where you're watching, also same website, odx.ca. Fill out the form, get a hold of them. They'll let you know who to contact to become an authorized dealer. Thanks, Kevin, for joining us. We look forward to our Friday session, brother.
Thank you, Ben. See you on Friday.
Take care. All right, two more brands to go. The next one is another Canadian. Actually, the next two are the Canadian brands. This one, we're going to go to BC, where BrightSource resides. I had the opportunity to connect with Mr. Ian McKenzie, who's their sales and marketing director, and find out what's happening with BrightSource this lighting season. Here's what happened. Hey, Ian, thanks for coming in and joining us on this discussion about lighting systems on CMA Live.
Happy to be here, Ben. It's really great to be back. Thanks for having us.
Lighting systems are certainly exciting. And when it comes to BrightSource, I just want to give you an opportunity to differentiate the two brands that we see when we talk about BrightSource. There's the BrightSource brand, and then there's the Strands brand. So what exactly is the layout of the land here?
Sure. So first of all, BrightSource is a Canadian company, and our products are generally designed for the off-road enthusiast or commercial vehicle fleet owner in mind. And to that end, we have focused on developing products that will perform, meet, and exceed the needs of our customers. And we have, as you know, we have these long winters and they're harsh conditions. And so these products have to stand up. And, it is a requirement that the product continues to work, whether you're in the backcountry or if you're in a commercial situation where your vehicle can't be off duty because your lighting doesn't work. It's got to work. So that's the key thing there. So we have street legal and SAE DOT and EMARC products that work in different locations in the country, as well as high performance off-road lights on the BrightSource side of things. So yeah, that's the BrightSource sort of product mantra, I guess. On the Strands side, Strands is a company out of Sweden. They're a top tier supplier in the more the long haul market in Northern Europe and Europe itself. So that's where they got their start in the past year or so. They've been gradually evolving their products to fit into the light truck SUV market.
The consumer side of things.
Yeah. So there are a lot of EMARC products in their product stable. And they've got, considerable breadth. So they have breadth in product and light bars even alone. So they've got single row, they've got double row, from 8 to 52 inch. There's, curved single and double row. There's, the Night Guard series, which we've got some information on our previous show that we did together. But there's multifunctional lighting as well, and that's something that really appealed to us in working with them. Is that we had an opportunity to partner up as a distributor for their products here in North America, and not be concerned about product quality and the fact the product has to darn well work all the time, every time.
Yes, absolutely. Very
yeah.
cool. So an in-house brand in BrightSource and a distribution representation situation when it comes to strands.
That sounds set up really well. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, you mentioned the word off-road. We like talking about off-road lighting because our customers like off-road lighting. So why don't you tell us about a couple of the innovative offerings? We'll call them innovative offerings when it comes to strands. You mentioned a few. Let's go deeper.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the key products that they've introduced in the last couple of months is the Strands Outlaw series. So this is just an unbelievably long range product for distance in visibility. So there's a 22-inch light and there's a 32-inch light. The 22-inch light has a range of 1.2 kilometers. That's kilometers. It's ridiculous. The 32 has a range of 1.466.
I'm going to stop you for a second. Imagine the pitch when you're talking to a customer. Customer comes, they want a light bar, and they're thinking, yeah, can I get 100 meters? Can I get 200 meters? Well, we can do that, or we can do 1.5 kilometers. I mean, that's a pretty crazy proposition.
Exactly. So that light it's just like a brick. It is like in a short, on the wall in a shop, for example, it just looks like a brick. On the road, it goes kaboom. And so you'll see, great distance, the action on the side of the road, whether it's an object or Bambi, before you have a close encounter that you don't want, you're going to see what you're up against. So that is really a super product. There's also a second version of the Outlaw coming later this fall winter that I didn't talk about before, but this is a teaser on that, and it is an Outlaw with a automatic de-icing function in the lens. There's a lot of times with LEDs, they don't generate enough heat to keep the snow clear of the front end of a light bar, and so all of a sudden you got this powerful light, but it's caked up with ice. And so this has a self-regulating, I believe it comes on at 5 degrees or 9 degrees or something Celsius, just comes on automatically. The driver doesn't have to do anything about it, and it clears it off in a jig time. So really fast time.
And to be specific, we are talking about the Strands.
That's a Strands, yeah, that's the Strands, and that's a teaser on something that's coming down here. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
I do want to encourage our listeners and our viewers, if watch the show that I did with Ian earlier on the week. We go through many different products, these ones included. So check that out on CMA Networks. Now, SAE dot. I mean, this is a term that comes up when it comes to lighting, and I'll be the first to admit I didn't even know what that really meant until very recently. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about it because BrightSource touts quite a few offerings that have this rating, and why is that important for dealers to know?
For sure. And I mean, we have a stable of off-road lighting as well, but in the SAE DOT world, if you're dealing with a commercial customer that has more than one truck or even one truck, but anywhere upwards of, from 1 to 500 trucks, if they're a commercially licensed vehicle, they need to adhere to SAE DOT regulations. And this is super important when it comes to lighting, because most often you'll see vehicles that are, especially in the smaller groupings, they come from the factory as a stock truck, and then they go to an outfitter and they'll be outfitted with lights. If their lights aren't properly mounted and properly certified, they risk having at least a ticket if they go to a weigh station. In some cases, they'll sideline the truck. They'll take the truck off the road if you're really snotty with the inspector, or if the gals had a bad day. So you don't want to risk that. The SAE,
especially not when you're quoting up. You want to demonstrate that you are the specialist and the expert in this field.
Right.
Yeah.
We actually have a brochure that we can send to somebody if they want to see it, because we have, for every province, we've taken the the provincial statutes, because whereas SAE is good in North America at large, so all over the states, everywhere in North America, SAE works. So if you're long hauling across the border, you don't have to worry if you've got that marking. In Canada, it spells it out by province. So if you're working within a province, sometimes that SAE DOT matters a little bit less if there's an E-mark certified thing, which is good in Canada, except for Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So without muddying the waters anymore, if you're quoting somebody on a commercial basis, please look at the SAE DOT products. And we've got, light bars, we have cube lights, we have side shooters now with SAE DOT markings. And then in a safety world, we've got fully regulated SAE Class 1, which means they're highway proven or highway certified for that designation.
And you know what? Just to close out this question, I can't stress enough how much opportunity lies within small fleet, commercial, service vehicles, municipal, like snowplow. All that is just if you are the shop in that area, reach out to the powers that be and say, hey, you have solutions that can help them with that. They're efficient, they're powerful, they're designed exactly for what they need. And you'll be surprised how much extra business you might garner up. So be that specialist, be that expert.
Yeah, that's right. And I didn't even touch on the SAE DOT snowplow headlights we have that are, that have a built-in heated lens as well. So that's another big deal for you and for a person who is, outfitted a truck with a plow. And now the plow blocks the headlights. Well, you need a solution for that, right? So that's where we come in with a better, like a product that can be raised up and over top and, help not only qualify the truck as a legal product or legal vehicle for the job, but the driver is important too.
So he's kind of important in the equation for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to be nitpicky about one product from that presentation. I looked into it a little bit more even after our presentation. That backup light you guys got going on, I think should be a hit. I know there's cool stuff like the cubes and the light bars. And why am I picking on the backup light? Because it's kind of unique in the marketplace in the sense that, first of all, the aesthetics of it are really sharp. Second of all, with the two-tone lighting and just the performance. I mean, we showed a video of how crazy you back up. And, those who tow toys, especially in the fall, like hunters and stuff like you want to see where you're backing up into.
100%.
These lights will do that job. I think if you showed customers that'd be awesome. I want you to speak to those lights a little bit.
Sure. So you hit upon a really important market there for people who tow, whether it's boats, sleds, quads, what have you. Like you're typically getting out early
and come back late.
Coming home late. So it's fantastic to have the visibility, the performance that is delivered through this little 6-inch by 1.6-inch light. And so there's not only a really nice, bright, wide, like 80-degree white light that has a range of like 49 meters, which is huge, but there's also a strobe light. So that function can be activated separately, or it can be run at the same time. So if you're backing up and you want people to see you backing up or see that you're backing up, you activate both, and things are a lot safer in behind the unit. These lights come with both a bolt style pendant, attachment bracket, or and it's included in the package. There's a faceplate. So it can be mounted as a flush mount piece, which some people really like to have something that's not sticking out or sticking up. And if it
gives a lot of options for the installer, right?
100%.
Depending on the vehicles. I mean, this can fit on so many different vehicles. I mean, it's so many multi-purpose, multi-vehicle. And having those options in the box certainly make our lives a lot easier.
Yes, and it's reasonably priced as well. So with all those functions and options for you, it's a great piece to have on the retail shelf.
Check. Price, performance, everything's there. Value. Now, last but not least, I can't let you go without giving an opportunity for you to truly explain and describe to our listenership the breadth of the offering from BrightSource. We're not just talking, just to be clear, there's lots of great lighting companies on tonight and throughout the industry. BrightSource is a Canadian company, and they offer a lot of different categories. Can maybe help us understand that breadth, that catalog, and really explain why there are so many reasons to partner up with BrightSource in the lighting category.
Sure. So thanks. One of the things we feel is super important is that we have really, really good dealer support. So we are customer focused. Somebody brings in a product to you that is a BrightSource name on it, and one LED is out and it's under warranty. You make the call, we support you. You don't have to go through mail it back, see you in 6 weeks, all that baloney that sometimes you have to deal with. Once we get to know each other a little bit, we are fully supportive, and we have a tech line. So if somebody calls and says, I got a problem with a light bulb installation, or I'm not sure which wiring to use with this light bar, we have a tech on the horn all day. So from 9 in the morning Pacific to 6 p.m. We are, or excuse me, to 5 p.m. we are here, and we pick up in off hours as well, because we just know that people are installing on the weekends, right? So that's a big deal. Our warranty rates are super low too. So what you also want to hear as a dealer is that I'm not going to be faced with a plethora of returns. You want people to come back to your store to buy more stuff, not to come replace. Back. I'm going to use up more of your service time because I got a problem with a defective product. Our warranty rate is less than 0.5%. So it's very, very solid right across the board. Getting back to, I just thought I'd talk to that for a second, because it's a big deal for people to know that we got your back. But on the product side, we've got, as we've mentioned and discussed, we've got single row, double row light bars. We have a titanium series of light bars and work lights that is like a cut above the average sort of higher end little smaller work lights and driving lights. We get into higher end work lights. We have safety lights. We have marker lights that are SAE DOT approved. We talked a little bit about the multifunction lights that you see with either on the BrightSource side or from the Strand side of things. We have headlight bulb upgrades, even things like D-series bulbs that were, HID bulbs. We have replacements and upgrades for those, which is hard to find sometimes.
And another market that still is very relevant.
Absolutely. When you're doing a bulb upgrade on your factory headlights, sometimes the bulb doesn't fit properly when it goes into the housing. So in some cases, like for Dodges and for some Ford applications, for some GM applications, we have a complementary, like a complementary dust cap that actually fits onto that housing with the clearance you need. So it's not free complementary; it complements the housing, and it. When you buy those from the dealer, they're expensive, and they're not from us. So.
I mean, it sounds to me there's more than enough reasons in that one answer why you should at least check out the website, give the guys at BrightSource a call, and see if the match is right. But between the support, the variety, and in my opinion, a brand that can offer good, better, and ultimate solutions with that Strands product, I think it's worth your time. Ian, thank you so much for coming in today and being a part of our CMA Live tonight.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, and have a bright and healthy, happy fall, winter season, everybody.
So to get more information on BrightSource products, you want to make sure you check out their website, brightsource.ca. And for any dealer inquiries across North America, also brightsource.ca. All right, we've got one more brand this evening. And this brand, I do encourage you to take and watch their workshop that they'll be doing tomorrow. They go in depth about a category which has been mentioned a couple of times this evening, and that is the xenon replacement category. They're going to go deep and really train you on what to be expecting, what are the options, and how to handle those options and be profitable all at the same time. had a chance to sit down with Chris Chang from Hitcore Industries to kind of give us a preview of what to expect on that workshop we have scheduled tomorrow. Here's how it went. Hey, Chris, so happy to have you on with us tonight. We've got an amazing workshop that we'll be presenting tomorrow. And funny enough, it's going to be about something that maybe people aren't expecting, but is actually a huge opportunity that you feel might be overlooked. And that's all about xenon. Tell us more.
Hey, Ben. Yeah, we noticed that a lot of dealers, when vehicles come in through the door, they look at the headlights, and if it's a halogen bulb, first reaction is obviously let's upgrade them to LED, xenon, and whatnot. But what we really find is that the market kind of overlooks a good chunk of vehicles, especially when they come with factory xenon HIDs or anything that has a projector with a brighter light. We start overlooking it, and there's no need to. We do have options for it, and it's a great time to introduce that into the market with the lighting season coming up.
You know, hearing those words from your mouth, and now I have a little bit of history because I've had the education, the training from you to understand this, but I think a lot of the dealers don't. And I think where this begins, or where this journey should start, is certainly in the education of understanding what are the actual options available to dealers, to consumers, when it comes to the potential of dealing with a customer that has factory xenon lights. So maybe you can help break down what these options are.
Well, the first option for repair purposes or customization, we can do one-to-one part replacement. So you remove a ballast, replace it with one from Lumens. You can remove the factory OE bulb and replace it one from Lumens. And at that point in time, we could even change up the colors because the color follows the bulb. And that I would say is probably the most common thing that dealers would think of. Alternatively, we've just recently introduced LED options for it too. So first off, we can do a full-blown LED conversion for repair purposes, in which we save consumers a ton of money, like a ton of money, especially if they bought an old vehicle that they really don't want to dump thousands of dollars to repair a headlight just to get it roadworthy at that point. We give them an option for that. When it comes to new vehicles, we offer a second LED option in which, you know, there's absolutely no modification. It's easy to do. And, you know, I picked up this vehicle yesterday. I don't like xenon for whatever reason. I want to jump on the LED bandwagon because my house uses LEDs. And here we are. Let's plug it in and away you go. And we keep it simple that way.
All right. So just to kind of reiterate, I guess, the breakdown of what you said, understanding, first you need to recognize what scenario you're dealing with. Are you dealing with a customer with an older vehicle that was equipped? Because I was under the misconception, Chris, that, you know, a xenon was only reserved for, you know, those higher end, more premium type vehicles. And I've been proven wrong. It's not the case, is it?
It's not. It's not. It covers a whole slew of vehicles. It doesn't matter if it's premium. It doesn't matter if it's domestic. It doesn't matter if it's an import. All vehicles can potentially come with factory xenons nowadays. And when I say nowadays, I mean the last 20 some odd years. There's a lot of vehicles out there with this stuff. And it makes absolutely no sense to me that we're all ignoring this market. There's definitely an opportunity there, and we should educate consumers. And we're going to show you how to do that tomorrow. And yeah, I would definitely tune in.
Absolutely. So Chris is referring to the workshop that's broadcasting tomorrow. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get your learn on with this one. Where everything we're talking about, we're just kind of skimming the surface to give you an idea of what we're going to be covering. Chris is going to come to the table with breakdown of costs so you can truly understand the different scenarios, the different options that you can present to your consumer. Now, I'm just going to circle back. Understanding your scenario, recognizing the situation you're dealing with. You talked about a vehicle comes in, you're maybe doing a remote start on it. Maybe you're doing a sound system on it. You notice it has xenon lights. And like Chris said, based on the sheer amount of vehicles that are now on the road with factory xenon lights, whether it's an old one or a new one, recognize that there's a xenon light. Now, having said that, 3 different options. Option 1, replace factory xenon lights. So I just want to focus in on that. When we're talking about replacement, is this factory performance level or what should we expect when you're telling the customer we can replace your factory xenon lights?
At least at the OE level, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we provide at a substantial savings. I mean, most of our products here, when we design it, we have the consumer in mind. And as a consumer, that's something I'd be looking for. I wouldn't want to degrade the quality just to save a few dollars, especially if it's a nice vehicle. And whoever buys a vehicle will think that their vehicle is nice. That's always true, right? And to me, that's very important, that we maintain that quality, if not outperform it if we can.
And I think the most important thing to know, and you said it before, Chris, cost savings. Check out the significant amount of savings. If you make the customer aware that, hey, notice you have xenon lights, based on the age of your vehicle, there could be a degradation in performance. Maybe it's coming up soon. These things don't last forever, folks, right? Light bulbs burn out, the gas burns, whatever, the ballast. We can, if you are the specialty shop, you make the customer aware. When that happens, and it will happen, right? They're going to go back to their dealer instinctively. When they find out the price of replacing a factory ballast or a bulb, they're going to lose their mind. However, if you as a dealer did your job and educated them that you have that option, you can service them with, let's say, the lumens equipment, they will most certainly turn back to you and look for their assistance. Did I kind of get that right?
You did, Ben. You did.
All right. Quickly onto the other options. Now, you mentioned a keyword, hashtag LED bandwagon. I give you credit for that term. But yes, this is true. Whether it's because they have them in their kitchen dining room, or because their flashlight is LED, or because that's just a hot word right now. For whatever reason, they feel they need to switch from their factory xenon to LED. Now, I guess we should split that into two. Let's first talk about the vehicle that's older, like a 5-year and older vehicle. What is their best course of action?
We have our Type 1 conversions, which bypasses the ballast altogether. And we recommend mostly for older vehicles, 5 years plus out of warranty, because it does involve tapping into a couple of wires on the vehicle. And this will essentially be the least expensive option without reducing any light quality. In some instances, you might actually gain light output by converting to the system.
Okay, so a little bit of, I guess, modification, if you will, but recommended for older vehicles that want to get into that LED space. Now, let's contrast that to, you have a customer with a 3-year-old BMW that came in.
Yeah.
And they're like, I need to be LED'd. What do you do?
Yep. At that point in time, we would take the Type 2, requires ballast LEDs, and do a direct replacement. Remove the existing xenon bulb, replace it with one of our Type 2s, and away it goes. And again, in most instances, especially with newer vehicles, you'll probably actually gain some extra light.
Above and beyond a new vehicle or recent vehicle factory xenon kit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize this. The newer xenon vehicles are actually less bright than the older xenon vehicles because of the way the technology has changed.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now, to tie this all up before I let you go, Chris, obviously tune in tomorrow, check out the entire workshop, but the website is a critical component to, assisting the dealer in giving the right information to the customer. Tell us about that.
Well, there's a lot that goes into these xenon systems, quite a few different components. It'd be impossible for anyone to memorize all the different components because some of them are very vehicle specific. Using our website tool, it'll simplify the process so much more. And if you tune in tomorrow, we'll explain to you how to use it, what all the components actually do, so that when you're showing your customer, you'll basically walk away knowing exactly how the system works and what the benefits are to your customer, and guide them along and assist them in either repairing or improving their light.
That's it right there. Thanks so much for coming in today. Lighting episode couldn't do it without you. And I hope everybody tunes in, because tomorrow's workshop is certainly going to be worth your time and for your business. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you.
And that website that Chris is referring to, we're going to put it up for you right now. It is lumenshpl.com. Lots of tools, information, and of course, all the specifications for all the products. And if you happen to be in Canada looking to become a dealer, get a hold of Importel, as they are the distribution partner for Lumens HPL. Definitely tune in tomorrow, guys, for that workshop. All right, we've come to the end. I want to give a huge shout out to all the brands that joined us this evening: Heist, Raysport, ODX, BrightSource, and of course, Lumens HPL. I want to remind you to continue tuning in right up until Friday. Actually, it's going to be Monday now, but for the lighting sessions, because every day we're showing off one of these brands. We deep dive. We're talking about it all show long tonight. Tune in and learn everything about the new products, the tools, the strategies. Make sure you are successful this lighting season. Now, huge contest. I will talk about this right up until the day we draw winners. Ultimate Fab Experience giveaway. Head over to cmanetworks.com/giveaway. 2 lucky winners, one from the US, one from Canada. In collaboration with 5-Axis Innovations and SiriusXM, you're getting the full treatment, guys. We're talking flights, hotels, food, you name it. MasterTech Expo, Ultimate Fab giveaway, cmanetworks.com/giveaway. And while you're there, check out more videos, would you? We've got so many CMA Lives that we've covered every single topic you can think of. If you want to know more about lighting specifically, just type lighting within the categories. You'll see lighting pop up. All the different brands and different videos that we've done are there for you to learn from. That's it. Thanks for tuning into this CMA Live, once again, presented by SiriusXM. Happy that you tuned in. I look forward to the next one. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
I mean, yeah, it's time about
Stop
today where I'm gonna go
Yo,
topics.
roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?